Hello, my name is Nikola Durdovic. In this recording, I want to demonstrate my code that I used for the OOP game assignment, which in my case was a 2D platformer game. So firstly, in the game data class, I store the public int player score, which is used across the other classes to show the score in the corner of the screen, and the current level to show which level is currently being chosen. In the game manager class, I made the game manager instance, which is used across the other classes in order to refer to the game manager class, which is storing, in this example, many different things. For example, the level 2 starting position, where the player is going to start when they load into the level 2, to get the high score of the player, which is then returned in the score in the corner of the screen, and also when the game is finished. On a scene loaded, it basically detects if the scene's name is level 2, and then it transfers the player's position into the starting position of level 2. And it also holds the different public voids functions to load the different scenes in the game. Like, for example, welcome scene, level 1 scene, level 2 scene, and so on. The main menu buttons, also called welcome buttons, are the buttons that are used in the main menu to take the player into different parts of the project. For example, the welcome screen button takes the player to the welcome screen from the game over screen and from the victory screen. The start game button takes the player into the level 1 as soon as from the main menu, so they can start playing the game. The instructions button shows the player the instructions for how to play the game and what are the different things that they can encounter in the game. And Quick Game closes the program from Unity. The Win Crown is a simple class, but also important one, as it's the only way for a player to actually get to the win game screen. And it basically detects the player by the tag, and as soon as it detects the player, it destroys the game object, which is the player in this case, and it also sets the scene to the victory screen. Similarly as the jump boost item, which gets the player's tag as well, and it boosts their jumping boost according to how much the input is put into the variable, which in this case is only 2 units. The enemy class takes inheritance from the character class, which will be explained later on, and it intakes different variables, and then it includes left threshold and right threshold, which I used because I made the enemy move left to right according to how, and putting the left threshold and the right threshold amount to how much they can move in those directions. And I updated in the void update. And of course, it also has a triggering on enter. As soon as it touches the player is destroyed, and the scene is switched to the game over scene. In the player scene, in the player class, sorry, it's also inheriting from the character class different variables, and it also includes the game data. As game data holds the points, the player takes game data and has its own score at variables, which then update the player score, which is then displayed using UI Manager on the corner of the screen, and is being updated across the levels. In the character class, the variables that are used for both enemy and for both player are shown. As for example, the movement speed is used for both of them. Jump force is used for, in this case, the player. The jumping is also used. Is a jumping bull is used also by the player. The rigid body being used by both of the classes, and sprite render, of course, being just a general variable that is nice to have. Void is used to, of course, call the sprite renderer in order to get it working, as well as rigid body 2D. The move void is used only by the enemy class, as it's used only to move the enemy from left to right. And the update is used for the player in order to make him be able to move around horizontally and vertically. And of course, this on collision enter 2D void is used to reset the player's jumping as soon as they hit a surface that has the tag ground on it. And finally, the level loader, which has a object on the map, which finds collision for a object with a tag player, and as soon as it hits an object with a tag player, it sets the game scene to level 2, and it prints level 2 just to know if the scene was loaded in. That will be it for the important scripts that were used in this project, and thank you very much.